Welcome back to Whole and Healthy Cooking with Chef Val. This is part 2 of the apple blueberry pie. So make sure that you watch part 1 where I taught you how to make the filling. And now I'm going to teach you how to make the crust. I am Chef Valerie Wilson. I've been teaching healthy, whole foods cooking classes since 1997. I'm the author of 5 cookbooks, and this recipe is in my Perceptions in Healthy Cooking cookbook. My website is macroval.com. So the crust, this is one of my favorite crusts because it's very easy. It's a pressed crust and it's gluten-free. So everybody can eat it. So the first thing you want to do is get yourself a bowl. And in the bowl, we are going to put 1/4 cup of organic olive oil, 1/4 cup of the healthiest sweetener there is, brown rice syrup. And my cooking tip always, if you've watched some of my other cooking videos, is always put the oil and the brown rice syrup in the same measuring cup so that it doesn't stick once it comes out. See how beautiful that is? And then we have 1/4 cup of water. We have to put our pinch of sea salt in there. Brings out the sweetness, right? Just balances it. And 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. It's going to help flavor the crust. Just mix this together. So this is the wet ingredients. Let's mix it together to combine. And then I took 1 cup of walnuts and put them in my food processor and ground them up. So I use walnuts, love walnuts. They have omega-3 fatty acid. They are brain food. They feed and nurture your brain. Now you could use your favorite nut. You could use a pecan or an almond. Any type of nut will work in this recipe. It gives the crust a richness, a more robust flavor. The crust is also thicker, gives it a nice thick crust. So you just mix in the walnuts, and then you take 2 cups of organic brown rice flour. So brown rice flour, 100% gluten-free, made from brown rice that has been ground up. Brown rice flour is an excellent gluten-free flour, but it tends to be a little bit gritty. So by mixing the brown rice flour with the ground walnuts, you don't notice that gritty texture. It just comes together very nicely and smoothly. So the consistency you want with this pie crust is that you want it to press, like when you press it into the pie crust, you want it to hold together. So it's very forgiving. If your pie crust is too dry, you could add a little more water. If your pie crust is a little too wet, you could add a little more flour. Now, I'm not a fan of those gluten-free combo flours where they have a bunch of different flours mixed in there. Usually they have like a bean flour and a high carbohydrate flour. Not a fan of those. And if you use one of those flour mixes in this recipe, your recipe probably won't come out. I'm just letting you know. So let's see here. Does this stick together? Does it hold together? Put it in our hand like this. Let's see. It does stick together. It's kind of loose. I'm going to add just 1 tablespoon more of water. Again, very, very forgiving, so you don't have to worry about anything like that if you're at home. But just 1 tablespoon more water, I think, is going to make it absolutely perfect so that when I press it into the pie shell, it's going to create this wonderful crust, right? So there it is. It's like, it's loose, but it holds together when you press it. So get yourself approximately a 9-inch pie shell that's been oiled and put approximately 3/4 of this crust dough in there. Save approximately 1/4 of it to sprinkle over the top. You've got to have a top to the pie crust. And then what I do is I push it and I press it. I always press the sides first. This is where your good strengthening yang energy comes in. You press the sides like so. You're doing a pressed crust. No need to roll out the crust for this recipe, right? Rolled out crusts are a lot of fun. They're very delicious. And I have a video how to make a roll out crust if you are interested. But this is a quicker like pressed crust is always quicker. Now if you need to grab some more of that dough from in there, because you want to make sure you have enough to get the sides and push it into the bottom, push it down. I make sure there's like no holes in it, like you can't see through it, so that when I put the filling in there, it's going to fill it. All right, there is our pressed pie crust. Let's get the filling. I'll show you what the filling looks like. So the filling's been cooking on the stove, right? And we cooked it until it was just starting to thicken. The arrowroot starts to thicken the beautiful juices on the bottom, and you will see it come together as it cooks. And then you want to stir it occasionally, not all the time, but occasionally. So you can see it's starting to thicken. It's kind of like the consistency of pie filling if you were to open a can of pie filling. And you just pour it in there like so. Oh, this smells so delicious. Blueberries, my favorite fruit. You know, blueberries are full of antioxidants too to help fight off disease. The antioxidants are what give it that beautiful blue color. Whoops, I kind of spilled it over the side. That's perfectly fine. It's gonna all bake in there. Great, no reason to worry about that. We'll just clean it up a bit on the edges. All right, just like so. Now the rest of the pie crust, we're going to sprinkle on the top, like so. This is going to be the top pie crust. Now get your oven at 350 degrees. We always preheat the oven when we make a pie so that it bakes evenly. So 350 degrees for 45 minutes. And this will be done. Okay? All right. So now I see it's like oozing over the side. That's perfectly fine. It's going to bake up fine, even though it's oozing over the side. And you know what you do when you bake it? You get yourself an old pan. Like I have this really great old cookie sheet. I put the pie on here as it bakes in the oven. And then anything that spills over while the pie is baking, it gets caught on here. It doesn't get caught in my oven. So that's a great tip for you too. So this is part 2 of the apple blueberry pie recipe. Make sure you watch part 3. I'll show you what it looks like when it comes out of the oven. Okay, so we have the crust, we have the filling, and come back for part 3. I'll show you what it looks like once it's all done. All right, see you in part 3.